Madam Speaker, in line with Article 43 of the Constitution of Kenya Constitution, shelter is a basic need. The Mavoko residents, Portland, was never issued with a notice of demolition and or relocation plan or place. The leadership of Machakos County, the governor, the senator, and the area MPs were never consulted on this issue. After the lapse of lease, they would have had a consideration to give back the local community as is their ancestral land. Generations and have been brought up there. The said residents approached the government for regularization of the said land. It is unfair to demolish their properties without notice or relocation. And as the senator of Machakos County, I deeply condemn this act, because during the campaigns, the present government promised relocation of citizens who reside on public land. I wonder what changed. And the other day, the president told us it's a win-win. I request the government to quickly come up with a relocation and compensation plan for the affected residents, that on the public amenities, that is schools, hospitals, and religious institutions, that are churches. Can't the government have an agreement with the county government and settle the issue in terms of payments and title deeds? We have seen this before with Waitiki Farm in Likoni, where the county government paid 1.2, where the county and the government paid 1.2 billion to the national government to save the residents. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta issued 1,400 title deeds to the residents who were already living in Waitiki farm on a list of 99 years. When the same, why can't the same be reciprocated to our people who have lived in Portland for so long? Madam Speaker, as we talk, we are talking of, by morning, we had 3,500. Madam Speaker, I'll wait, Senator Kio finishes with you and then you can pay attention. Madam Speaker, eight churches are also down. 4 schools are down. And Madam Speaker, from morning till now, the demolition is still on, and we don't know if it will continue even up to tomorrow. This is very unfair. This is very unhuman, because those children are out. They are not going to school, and the El Nino is here with us. Those people are outside not knowing where they will go. I'm asking, where was the government by the time these people bought this land, were allocated, were even given plans for building, and they paid? They also contacted the NEMA, and they brought up the buildings to where they are and they got in to live. Where was the government that time? Why didn't they intervene that time? Madam Speaker, I ask Senator Sifuna to second.
Senator Sifuna.
Thank you very much, Senator Kavindu and Madam Speaker. First, let me say that just a few hours ago, I was part of a delegation of the leadership of Azimio coalition led by the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, and the Governor of Machakos. We tried to visit with the victims of the demolitions in Athi River. But to our surprise, Madam Speaker, we were met with a cordon of police complete with water cannons and anti-riot gear, which was quite surprising for us because as far as I understand, this is something that is of great interest to all Kenyans. And at the very minimum, we as the leadership of the country should be allowed to visit that place to see for ourselves so that we can assess the extent of the humanitarian crisis that is unfolding right under our noses here. Madam Speaker, much has been said about this matter in the court of public opinion and especially on social media. People are alluding to court decisions that have finally and firmly decided that the land belongs to East African Portland Corporation. In fact, Madam Speaker, that is not the position. The matter that has precipitated the current action was a ruling by the High Court sitting in Machakos that basically threw out the case that had been filed by the landowning company that had sued Portland. And the reason that was given by the judge is that this, the plaintiff or the complainant had been unable to effect personal service on some of the respondents in the case. So it is not therefore true or factual that a definitive determination has been made on the ownership of the land in Machakos. Madam Speaker, we are not here to argue the legality of who owns what or the title or who that land belongs to. Whether it is a question that it is, the land is actually public land, it is owned by Portland, or it's owned by these individuals, is another case altogether. What we want to address in this motion is the human suffering that has been precipitated by this particular action. That at the end of the day, Madam Speaker, our constitution and the law require that there has to be a humane way to resettle people. I am sure Madam Speaker is familiar with our own evictions and resettlement guidelines of 2009 that require that before certain actions are taken, such as the ones that we have seen in Mavoko, 90 days notice has to be issued in the Kenya Gazette. Of course, Madam Speaker, in this particular case, it was not done. Because hours after the court decision throwing out the case by the land ownership society, the graders were there, ready to demolish houses. And Madam Speaker, what we want to address is that every single government that can call itself a government must always worry about the situation of their own people. As Senator Kavindu has alluded to, Madam Speaker, the current regime is on record having said that the era of forceful evictions and nighttime demolitions was going to be a thing of the past once they were sworn in. It is quite shameful, Madam Speaker, that as we speak, over 3,000 households are without a roof over their head. We have counted at least 5 churches as of yesterday, and 3 schools, and I've heard Senator Kavindu add that it is in fact now 4 schools. More than that, and the demolitions are ongoing. I can confirm that because I have just come from there and we were denied access because the police commander in charge told us that that exercise will continue for maybe another few days. Madam Speaker, so what we're saying is this: we understand the legal tussle might take time. We understand that it might be a complicated case, but what is not complicated, Madam Speaker, is that people cannot be sleeping outside. As Senator Kavindu has said here, we are entering a period where we anticipate heavy rainfall. In fact, we have been warned by the meteorological department for a long time that we might be experiencing El Nino rains anytime. What would have been the challenge with the management of Portland, giving these people ample time to be able to move out? And what is most shocking, Madam Speaker, in the Daily Nation of this morning, today's Daily Nation, we saw another advertisement by Portland dealing with a separate portion of land that they own, And in this particular case of the land that has been advertised today, somehow they have taken a different approach. They recognize that there are people who are settled on that land, some who might actually even be squatters. But they have said that they are going to give those people priority when that land is advertised for sale. I am only asking myself, why was it not possible, even in the current situation, or the people who are on the land that is being now demolished, where properties are being demolished, for them to also be afforded the same opportunity to have this discussion with Portland and see if these people are able to afford to purchase these pieces of land so that they can do regularization, as we saw in that particular advertisement. So, Madam Speaker, for us really, we are saying let there be a humane face to enforcement of court orders. Let there be a humane face when you are kicking out people from land and destroying their homes. Madam Speaker, as far as we are concerned, this is a matter that the President himself must speak to and answer the question whether he still holds to his promise to Kenyans to make sure that in fact such demolitions, especially forceful evictions and demolitions, Madam Speaker, are a thing of the past. I thank you, Madam Speaker, and I beg to second.
What is your point of order? I have not even proposed the question. Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 37, the Senate do adjourn to discuss a definite matter of urgent national importance, namely the demolition of homes and property in Mavoko, Machakos County. Honorable Senators, I put the question that pursuant to Standing Order 37, the Senate do adjourn to discuss a definite matter of urgent national importance, namely the demolition of homes and property in Mavoko, Machakos County. What is your point of order?
Madam Speaker, I raise under Standing Order 111 about limitation of debate, looking at the time, and this is a matter most of us would want to contribute. Would I be in order to request that the House agree with me that at least each and every senator speak at a maximum of 5 minutes so that all of us can get opportunity. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senators, the Standing Order only gives 5 minutes for each contributor to this motion, to this debate. So each senator will have 5 minutes to contribute to the current motion. Senator Enoch Wambua.
I thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to make a contribution to this motion. Madam Speaker, from the onset, I want to remind us that governments all over the world exist for the purposes of protecting lives, property, and livelihoods. Madam Speaker, what is happening in Mavoko, in the river today, and yesterday and the day before yesterday, Mr. Speaker, it's a very sorry state of affairs. A very sorry state of affairs, Madam Speaker, because some of the property owners, properties that have been brought down, are actually third or fourth owners of the land on which they have erected their properties. Madam Speaker, the question that the mover of this motion has put on the floor of this House is a question that all of us must exercise our minds on as we debate this motion. Where was the government when people put up their houses on that land? Where was the government when schools were being constructed in this place. Madam Speaker, people don't register their schools. Schools are registered by governments. How did government register schools in this area? How did government even make some of these schools examination centers for exams that are supposed to be beginning next week? Madam Speaker, where was government when churches were being built on this land? It is the responsibility of government to register churches. Madam Speaker, without putting unnecessary emotion into this debate, I think, Madam Speaker, a time has come that people's legs must be held on fire until the truth comes out. What is the urgency in reacquiring this land for the cement factory? Why would we throw out our own people, Kenyan citizens, children, women, in the cold at a time like this when the El Nino rains have just set in, just because we want land to revert to a cement factory? What is it that the cement factory wants to do with the land today that we could not have and go through a process of reacquiring this land? Madam Speaker, I stand here as a leader from that region, but as I speak, Madam Speaker, let it be known by both sides of the divide that the people who have suffered and continue to suffer in those demolitions are not necessarily exclusively people from the Lower Eastern region. In fact, we have communities from all over the country who had settled on that land. People who have taken loans, bank loans, to construct their buildings. People who have taken loans to invest in private schools. People, Madam Speaker, who have taken years to build churches in those areas, and overnight, all that investment, all that property has been flattened, and these people are supposed to run to government for recourse. But unfortunately, it is the government that is doing this.
Honorable Senator, your time is up. Senator Boni Halwale.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it's very unfortunate that we are here where we are. As we witness a humanitarian crisis unfold in the Gaza, in the Middle East, purely for the reasons that you know. Little did we know that we would have also a humanitarian crisis unfolding here at home, at Mavoko. I want to thank Senator Kavindu, the mover and the seconder, Senator Sifuna and Senator Wambua. You've spoken maturely. You have raised the issue for us, even as we uphold the rule of law, whereby we are obeying court orders. Evictions must be done legally and with a humane face. What's the big deal? If the courts have agreed that the owner of this property is Portland and people have settled there illegally, let them go away. But let it be done procedurally and with a human face. That's all we are saying. Honorable members, I remember when I was in this parliament in 2004, we were faced with a similar problem when 100,000 people had to be evacuated from the Mao forest. Again, in 2011, when I was in this parliament, we witnessed thousands of people being evicted from Syokimau. And the threat is the same, that business people, political people, they create cartels, con unsuspecting members of the public, they buy land which does not belong to these conmen, and then, as Wambo has said, they are second, third, fourth generation buyers. They're the ones who face this brand. We must say no. The people in Syokimau were warned repeatedly that you are putting up houses in the flight path to the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. They couldn't listen. Similarly, the people in the Mau, hundreds of thousands, were warned that this is an environmental water tower. They couldn't listen because they thought they were protected by the rich people who gave them that land or the politicians who sent them there. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, I tell this republic of ours, if we want to lead this country, we must hold each other. The weak, they be held by you, the strong ones. As in the government side, we hold hands with those in the opposition side when a matter requires that we close ranks. The people who are perpetrators of this con game must be pursued to its logical conclusion. And they are known. As I speak today, Boniface Sunguti Ichingwa, son of Ichingwa from Malinya, has sent me a message here that, Uncle, while you are away in Malinya, we have slept in the rain. He had bought such a land, he had put up property there. A young person, aged round about 29, 30, 31 years. These are the people we are supposed to protect. I hope when the president comes, he has taken step one, he has complied with a court order. We want to tell him that we are behind him to respect court orders, but we want to urge him to prevail upon agencies that manage eviction and settlement of people to do it in a humane way. Doing anything else, we either cease to be Kenyans or we become animals. Really? That somebody registered a primary school on land that did not exist? And I have registered 23 secondary schools which I built in Ekolomani. And I know the process of registration is rigorous. Who was doing these things unless it is a cartel?
Honorable Senator, time up. Senator Manzo Daniel Kitonga.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to contribute on this very important matter. Madam Speaker, other than this suit which has been concluded, there is another suit pending which will be determined about the same land in November, and I believe the same will not follow. The truth of the matter is the moment Portland acquired the land, and the moment the land lease expired, and the moment what Portland was doing there, which was mining, was over, the land was supposed to revert back to the community. And the current status is that it has to go back also, partly and co-owned by the county government of Machakos, which is the trustee. And therefore, it doesn't automatically go to the national government or automatically go back to the Portland company. And therefore, what has happened with this particular court order, Machakos county government had not been served. And instead of waiting for that, or the judge giving an opportunity, which happens, this ruling was arrived at through technicalities. And I also believe that some people were waiting for this. And as soon as that happened, people were very quick, you know, and agencies were very quick to run and evict. Instead of waiting for their cries and or giving reasonable time for these people to appeal, and then failure of appeal, then the matter would have been different. But that notwithstanding, there is something called an adverse possession of land. And that's why the Constitution says, and also the Fair Administration Act, says that you cannot no longer now, under the new Constitution, determine and conclude, it doesn't automatically go to the national government or automatically go back to the Portland company. And therefore, what has happened with this particular court order, Machakos County government had not been served. And instead of waiting for that, or the judge giving an opportunity, which happens, this ruling was arrived at through technicalities. And I also believe that some people were waiting for this. And as soon as that happened, people were very quick, you know, and agencies were very quick to run and evict. Instead of waiting for their cries and or giving reasonable time for these people to appeal, and then failure of appeal, then the matter would have been different. But that notwithstanding, there is something called an adverse possession of land. And that's why the Constitution says, and also the Fair Administration Act, says that you cannot no longer now, under the new Constitution, determine and conclude a matter fully on technicalities. You must hear all the parties. In this case, all the parties have not been heard, and even the issue of adverse possession, of which these people have been here for over 12 years, has not been heard and determined. And therefore, whatever has happened is vitiated by politicians. That is very true. Statements have been made by different politicians regarding this particular land. There are quite a number of highly connected people involved, and the idea is not to give this land back to Portland or give it for any other purpose allocated, which is the work of the Land Commission. The idea is to grab this land and take it for their personal interests, having taken it away from others. And even if this was to be for industry, even if it was to be for the housing project, these people had already done housing. I'm aware that Portland have a debt with the KCB. Even if it was for a debt with the KCB, there should have been notice of 90 days, and upon giving notice of 90 days, people would have negotiated. They fine, if the land doesn't belong to us, can we then raise money and pay KCB so that now we can know what to do for the land? Or can we then pay for the land so that we can be able to occupy it? And for the information of this house, there are many other thousands of acres of land in that area which are going to be mined and are going to be left vacant. So for all purposes and intent, that will still have covered any purposes the government or any other agency would have wanted to do so in future, but not to evict the people in an inhumane way, destroy their properties. They have failed to have a human face. I don't think that's what government is. Government has a human face. And that's why we politicians go to the people and are servants of the people. We should hear the cries of the people. So the ones who damage and destroy the properties, I am very sure the Court of Appeal is going to revisit this, and there is going to be substantive hearing at the Court of Appeal while the houses are down and the people have been evicted, the churches have been destroyed. I think from what I've seen, even a mosque was constructed in my village, a place called Kabonzweni, irregularly on public land without consultation. But even after the Muslim community who had done that left the area, up to today nobody has touched that mosque. It is respected. Nobody else can go and destroy that mosque. You must respect places of worship because they are sanctified, and all this land we are fighting about belong to God. It doesn't belong to a particular individual. So I believe when we finally go to the Court of Appeal, and I'm sure the parties involved are very busy filing, and also we have this other ruling we are waiting in November. I hope it is also not going to be ruled on technicalities, and I'm sure the judicial officer dealing with it has seen the outcome of a court decision, barely on technicalities, looking machinized, looking not usual. You know, justice must be seen to be done. Justice cannot be managed through cartels.
Time up, Senator Karungo Thangwa.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I wish this motion was speaking about going for the criminals. And the criminals are the people who sold land to these unsuspecting residents of Mavoko. Madam Speaker, from what I've gathered, and I really sympathize with the people of Mavoko, and I really sympathize with those people who lost their property, but being a legal battle, Madam Speaker, everybody and everyone was fighting for their right, Madam Speaker. This legal battle has been going on for 9 years between the cement company and the residents from that region, Madam Speaker. For 9 years, they were unable to agree on what they were supposed to do in regards to the parcels of land that they bought from cartels, from criminals, and from those who grabbed that land. Madam Speaker, the same cement company has land about 900 acres just nearby. They were able to discuss with those who bought land from land grabbers, and they had agreed that now, as much as we paid the land grabbers, we are going to pay the cement company. And that's why, Madam Speaker, maybe there's no demolition, because they agreed with those who bought land from the land grabbers, Madam Speaker. On this issue, instead of us being reactive, we should be proactive, Madam Speaker. There have been billboards that have been put on that land urging Kenyans not to buy land from that area, because there is one, court case, and two, they believe that land does not belong to a society called Aimimalu Kenya that was selling land to unsuspecting people. Madam Speaker, let us not be a house that is going to whip the emotions, that we want to be seen to be fighting for our people, yet we are not, Madam Speaker. Because if we were, the county government of Machakos could have done something. The representatives of Machakos could have brought that issue at the Senate. And Senate, we have very nice committees that are looking into matters, Madam Speaker. But we wait for whoever is demolishing, of which I don't believe is my government, whoever is demolishing, Madam Speaker, we wait till our people lose their property. It was very painful to see a border guy, Madam Speaker, saying that he saved money for 5 years to build a house in there, only for it to be demolished, Madam Speaker. And then after the demolishing has happened, we just make noise, and then we let the criminals go. The criminals who took this land and sold to the border guy. And there are people that are known. They are in government, some of them. They are in administration, police administration, Madam Speaker. Today the DCI has summoned so many people to appear before them to give them information. Some of them are members of parliament. Some of them are owners of a society. Some of them are former OCPDs, Madam Speaker. I think, and I urge this Senate, it is sad that people have lost their property. Yes, it is sad, and we should condemn that with the possible words that we can use, Madam Speaker. But we should also go for the people who conned these people who are losing their properties twice, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there's some leaders that I don't want to mention at this particular time of a certain political party, Madam Speaker, that are said to have taken this land, and they have been fighting whoever in the name of protecting the residents of Mavoko. Madam Speaker, how come the said people have not even helped these people to go and have an appeal case at the court of law? At least assist these people in every way. But you cannot go to visit them when the demolitions are happening, yet 9 years.
What is your point of order, Senator Sifuna?
Madam Speaker, on Standing Order 101 on responsibility for the statements that are being made on the floor of the House. I think Senator Khalwale had set the tone by saying that the presentations that were being made on the floor were very mature. Is it in order, Madam Speaker, for Senator for Kiambu to make allegations against leaders of a party that he has refused to disclose without making any substantiation of those allegations, Madam Speaker? Because this matter is a serious matter, and any person who has information that can help the people of Mavoko get justice should be speaking with authority of facts. Madam Speaker, it is a matter of fact also that there was hardly any period between the time the court case was dismissed and the time when the demolitions began. As Senator Manzo has submitted on the floor, it is as if some people had already known or anticipated the decision in advance. So is it in order for Senator Thangwa to say that the leadership in Machakos have done nothing to help the people to appeal? You cannot appeal when your house has already been demolished. That is why we usually have, Madam Speaker, a period of 14 days between a judgment and the time when action is supposed to be taken to allow for that appeal. But that has not been the case here. Can you substantiate on those two issues, Madam Speaker?
Senator, what is your point of order, Senator Halwale?
Madam Speaker, again I rise on 105 just like Senator Sifuna. But as I appealed, this is not a government problem or an opposition problem. We have this motion because there is a humanitarian crisis. So even to ask the Senator for Kiambu to substantiate, to look like he is to blame, Madam Speaker, can I, sir? Yeah.
Let him finish, Senator.
Madam Speaker, if there is need for substantiation, the police, through a press release, has just tabulated the names of the senior officers that the Senator of Kiambu is speaking to. And they include the kind of players he's talking about. Madam Speaker, because I'm on the, yes, electronic evidence can be tabled in this house.
Let
Madam
him finish,
Speaker,
Senator Catherine. Allow Senator Boni to finish.
Madam Speaker, as I speak to this document, it's not a public document. They are speaking to former deputy commissioner, former deputy county officer, former OCPD, Mavoko,
What
former
document
DCI.
are you reading?
Yes?
Can you give us the title of that document?
The title is the National Police Service, Directorate of Criminal Investigation, dated 17th of October, press release. They are asking all these people who are adversely affected by the humanitarian crisis to go. They have opened a desk to go and register the names of the people who called them. And they have said, for starters, this starting from, Madam Speaker, can I read the names now?
No, you don't read if it's public knowledge, Senator Halwale.
Yes.
If you resume your seat, we have heard your line of argument. I will request Senator Karungo Dhangwa, if you would want to add in more information to what you suggested as people you mentioned from other political parties. What of clarification, Senator Agnes Mudhama?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to clarify that we as a leadership of Machakos did not wait until we come here, and also for humanitarian grounds when our people are sleeping out, and not only Machakos people alone. Kenyans are in Machakos, Mavoko. They've been, they're sleeping outside. No school. Children are not going to school. Are we supposed to keep quiet really as a leadership of Machakos? And I want to say also, the governor took lawyers immediately the next day, and they went to court to apply an application of urgency to stop the demolition, and they were told to go back and serve all the parties and then go back on Monday just for this demolition to continue. It's unfair, it's inhumane.
Clarification is noted. Senator Karungo Dhangwa, would you want to put in additional information based on what you submitted before?
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. You know, you can only be told to substantiate what you have said, but you can never be told to substantiate what you haven't said, Madam Speaker. I have not named any political party, but they say there is a political party. I have not mentioned which political party, and I have the right to say that there is people who conned our people, Madam Speaker. And remember, as much as I'm sympathizing, feeling for them, because maybe even this motion is here to protect those criminals, Madam Speaker. Maybe what we are looking for is to protect those who sold land to these. That's why I'm taking that angle, Madam Speaker.
Let me give directions.
That's why I'm taking that angle, because we cannot be fighting for our people by pretending, Madam Speaker. We have to look for, you have to get to the origin of this issue.
Just allow
as much as I'm fighting for them to be given somewhere to stay, to be given back their property, I should also be fighting for them to get their money from the criminals, from the land grabbers, from those who lie to them, that land belongs to them, Madam Speaker.
Resume your seat. Let me give a direction on this matter. The manner and style in which a senator chooses to adopt in their debate remains their preserve. Senator Karungo Dhangwa insinuated there may be some people from a certain political party. In Kenya, we have 89 political parties. It would not be correct for anybody to assume which political party the people who are alleged to be culpable belong to. It is within his rights to pick the nature of statement that he gives. If he gave names and sought clarification, and we sought clarification, that would be a different story. But the way he chooses to give his debate, that is the preserve of the senator. And we asked for additional information. He did not supply any further information to point to any political party. So we shall proceed on with the debate. Senator Osotsi Godfrey Atieno.
Madam Speaker.
What is your point of order should come when there is someone on the floor, Senator Catherine. Can you allow him to begin and then you do it as per the standing? Proceed.
Senator Dhangwa has suggested that the moving of this motion was intended to protect criminals. He has said it. Senator Dhangwa has said a political party whose leaders have then gone to look as if they're supporting the victims. Madam Speaker, I think a political party can only be one. If he actually is speaking in good faith to try and help resolve this problem, he needs to name the party, he needs to name the leaders who are protecting the victims. And I think it is bad faith for him to say the motion is intended to protect victims. Can he clarify why he believes that is the case?
Senator Catherine Muma, I have given a direction on that matter. The issue that was raised by Senator Sifuna was about the political party. There was no other issue raised unless the Hansard would bear a different record. I would request Senator Osotsi to proceed.
Madam Speaker, let me also contribute to this motion of adjournment by supporting it and say that this Senate, I think we are creating a very bad precedent. I have observed very carefully, Madam Speaker, that members have brought here a motion of adjournment to discuss very serious issues but when the motion is put, we don't get to discuss the substantiveness of the issues in that motion. We degenerate into our political parties and we lose the entire idea of bringing up the adjournment motion. I want to say this is a very serious matter, Madam Speaker. And I want to disagree with the members who have spoken earlier, particularly the majority whip, who said that this is not a government problem. I want to state here that this is a government problem. And I'm saying this because...
What is your point of clarification, Senator Kavindu?
Madam Speaker, I still insist that Senator Thangwa should come out and say clearly what he means when he says maybe the motion is for, no, when he says the motion is for protecting criminals. I'm not here to protect any criminal. I am here to defend my people of Machakos.
Senator Agnes Kavindu, I have given a direction on that matter. Senator Karungo was responding to the issue of the political party, and I gave a guidance that his response was on the political party aspect. So, Senator Osoti, please proceed.
Madam Speaker, exactly that's the point I was putting across. When we have a motion of adjournment, I think we need to act very seriously and responsible so that we get the results of what we are discussing. On this particular motion, Madam Speaker, this is a very serious matter. Yes. A serious matter where hundreds of families are sleeping in the cold. Yes. El Nino is just about to come. They have nowhere to call home. And when someone says this is not a government problem, then we ask, where was the government when this land was being sold to these people? Yes. Where was the government when schools were being licensed in this area? There is a lot to say about this. And Madam Speaker, in fact, this matter taken as an inquiry by this House. Yes. Unfortunately, the chairperson of the committee that is supposed to be doing an inquiry on this matter, he is the one who is taking this matter very lightly. On this floor, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, November last year, one Honorable Moses Kuria, the former CS for Trade, issued a threat that these people are going to be evicted, that they wanted to demolish the houses in that land. Yes. Because the government wants to put up a cargo airport. Madam Speaker, why do we need a cargo airport in Mavoko when we have enough land at JKIA for expansion? We can put a cargo airport there. And Madam Speaker, this land, if you go into the history of this land was donated to Portland by the community. Yes. To mine. And a lease. So that the mine, at the end of the mining exercise, the land reverts to the community. Now they are coming and getting the land from the community back to Portland by force. Madam Speaker, I want to request that this matter be handled by an inquiry of this House so that we get to the bottom of this matter, because this matter has been on for some time. I remember during the last government, President Uhuru's government, there was a similar arrangement to evict the people. But President Uhuru decided that these people will continue occupying the land. But this government that came to power on the basis of protecting hustlers, on the basis of ensuring there will be no eviction, it is the worst eviction that we have ever witnessed as a country since independence. This is worse than the Kariobangi one that was done some time back. Madam Speaker, this is a very serious matter, and I want us as senators not to discuss this matter as if we are protecting our various political parties. We are here to protect matters that affect Kenyans. And this is one matter that affects Kenyans. Mavoko, that land, if you go there, you find every community there. I have my people from Vihiga County who have bought land there. Where was the government? Why were they issuing titles in that land? We need the Ministry of Land, the ministry in charge of
Senator Gloria Uroba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think today one thing we all agree in this House is that we have a systematic problem of land injustices. That one we all agree. As a matter of fact, I have said this repeatedly, that Kenya has actually been built on systematic acts of land grabbing. Once we have acknowledged that, which we all acknowledge, is that these injustices cannot be resolved by protecting fraudsters. It cannot. I have had my colleagues asking, where was the government? I have had some of them even referencing the former president, saying the former president said that they stay. Protecting fraudsters, protecting people who have conned Kenyans. But when we have a government that has finally acknowledged that we need to make the things that were wronged, we need to make them right, and we need to start from somewhere, then we have the same people saying, where is government? Government is here. Government is here to ensure that we are no longer protecting fraudsters. We have innocent Kenyans who bought that land, who did not do the due diligence that needed to be done. What we should be discussing as senators, as legislators, is, do we have a lacuna in law in terms of protecting victims of fraudsters? But coming to discuss that, let us continue protecting conmen and fraudsters who are grabbing land and then selling this land to innocent Kenyans, that is not what we are supposed to do as legislators. So for those of you who are asking, where was government? That same question should be posed. Where was government? That government that was actually allowing and protecting fraudsters.
What's your point of order,
Madam
Senator?
Speaker.
I resume your seat, Gloria. What's your
Speaker,
point of order?
can the Honorable Senator tell us who is protecting fraudsters among the people who have spoken?
Senator Gloria, who is protecting fraudsters? Can you
Madam
respond?
Speaker, I think maybe it is an issue of interpretation or lack of understanding. But if we have all agreed that land was grabbed, illegally sold, people settled, why then would we be saying that let us not deal with the issue of land grabbing? That in itself is protecting fraudsters. Because we are trying to say that those people who have constantly conned Kenyans, and they continue to do so, because they know that people will come and say, oh, let us protect the victims. We have to look into how to protect the victims within the law. Let us discuss on bills on how victims can be protected. But Madam Speaker, we cannot be, as legislators who are law-abiding, discuss on how we are going to continue aiding land grabbers. Madam Speaker, that is my point.
Senator,
and Madam Speaker,
Senator
because of time...
Senator Gloria, would you wish to be informed by Senator
No, I do not wish to be informed. Madam Speaker,
So
I think...
she does not wish to be informed.
Madam Speaker...
Senator Kavindu, she does not wish to be informed.
Madam Speaker, I want to applaud DCI because we have seen that they have come out without fear of whatever political divide, and they have listed those alleged criminals who are now looking for political favor to be protected in all sorts of forms. Madam Speaker, we want to say to DCI, those are the people we want to parade out there and make sure that we even bring back the money if they have property. We take, in fact, the houses that they are living in, we are supposed to resettle the victims in their houses. That is what we should be discussing today, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, I want to say this, that we cannot ignore that we have reports that we need to implement. The Ndumu report must be implemented, and this issue of land grabbing must be dealt with as a whole, beginning with what the President is starting with today.
Senator Senator Catherine Muma.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for opportunity to contribute to this. Madam Speaker, this motion came because of the sad pictures of people's houses being brought down. Madam Speaker, what we are discussing today is an issue of ensuring that this country gets back to law and order. Madam Speaker, we have court rulings, 2011, in Garissa on how to deal with evictions. We have a ruling in 2013 on how...
Senator Kathy Holt. Senator Chiradige, what's your point of order?
Madam Speaker, I rise on standing 105 on responsibility for statement of fact. Senator Catherine Muma has indicated that we are here because of the sad pictures that we saw of what is happening in Mavoko. While we know very well, Madam Speaker, that the reason demolitions are happening in Mavoko, in Athi River, the land belongs to Portland, was a case that was adjudicated in a court of law, and there was a court order that was being implemented by a private entity company called Athi River Portland. Is it in order for her to mislead Kenyans that the reason we are discussing this motion is because we saw pictures of houses being demolished, Madam Speaker? Is it in order can be responsible for the statement of the fact that is saying before the House, Madam Speaker?
Senator Chiradige, let me give a direction on that matter. Hold your horses, Senator Osotsi. I have given a direction in this House that the style and the manner in which a senator chooses to debate their points cannot be the discretion of the other senator. It is the preserve of the senator who is debating the issue. So, Senator Kadhi, proceed and...
Madam Speaker,
you cannot raise a point of order when there is no senator on their feet. Senator Osotsi, you know the rules.
Madam Speaker, the outcry about the manner in which evictions have been done, whether those victims are victims or land grabbers, is what brought the attention of this House to the matter that is there. And you will check, you will not find a court order that said demolish. There is no such court order. Madam Speaker, the point I was making is this, that it is high time as a country we started respecting the rule of law. So that land was grabbed and allocated to people. Who registered the schools? Who registered the churches? Who gave the planning permissions? Madam Speaker, it's not about pointing a finger at the opposition or the government. It is many people here who have slept on the job. And this House needs to move in a manner that we can even set an inquiry to get to the bottom of this, because this is recurring every so often. Madam Speaker, in 2011, 1,100 families were evicted in Garissa, and the courts found that government did this wrongly. It also happened in 2013 when the ruling said the Muthurwa evictions were not done properly. Madam Speaker, we must not hand over this country to private actors to actually evict people. A government that is trying to encourage housing needs to find out how do we resolve these issues. I am not here to defend anybody, and anybody who knows any culprit or grabber, regardless of which party they are in, even if it is my ODM party, please name them. That is why we are here.
Honorable Senators,
so I would suggest, okay.
Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 34-2A, I will add an extra 10 minutes so that the few senators who are waiting to debate may most likely have a chance to debate.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think I have 1 minute going. I just wanted to say, as a House, I am pleading. I think many departments have slept on the job on this matter.
Rather than look at this politically on who is speaking and who is doing what, we need as a house to be that entity that will be responsible enough to look at this matter objectively. If it means we set up a committee to go and find out which department did its job, which department did not do its job, so that we can resolve this thing and stop the next evictions that are going to hurt Kenyans. Thank you.
Your time is up, Senator. Senator Cherarike, it's your time. And honorable senators, if you can avoid the point of orders for the few minutes, then a few more would debate.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to thank you and thank that we are discussing this adjournment motion on the evictions that is happening in Machakos County. Madam Speaker, I've seen allusions, and you know it's surprising that some people have double standards, Madam Speaker. One side they tell government respect the rule of law, the other side they encourage government to go for impunity. Madam Speaker, I am surprised and perturbed. While I empathize with Kenyans who they were innocent purchasers, Madam Speaker, it is sad that individuals want to encourage government to break the law, yet at the same time say the government should have a rule of law. In the functions of presidency and president, there is nowhere that says the president can cancel a court order. I have never seen it. If anybody was genuine in supporting the victims of innocent purchase of land, they should have assisted them in a court of law. Not going for press conferences, not going and intimidating the police officers who are implementing the court order, Madam Speaker. I want to say the government shall follow the rule of law and implement the court order as is, Madam Speaker. Secondly, I want to laud the DCI for naming, including even sitting members of parliament and former, Madam Speaker, people who served in provincial administration or NGAO or national government administration coordination ministry, that they are part and parcel of accessories to the crime that was committed to innocent purchasers. I want to encourage DCI, fear not. As the Bible says, Madam Speaker, fear not. We are challenging the DCI to go for them, however mighty or however low they are, Madam Speaker. I want to say in conclusion, Madam Speaker, the government shall protect all Kenyans within the law. Madam Speaker, I therefore encourage the senator to go beyond and even request this House, Madam Speaker, to form a committee of inquiry, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, when Senator Otsosi was speaking, we were patiently listening to him. Why does he want to interrupt me, Madam Speaker? When I'm making, you are the one who said.
Senator Cherarike, he's within his rights to request. Resume your seat, Senator.
No, Madam Speaker, I finished my submission. I thank you.
Yes. Oh, Madam Speaker.
No, you cannot finish like
Madam
that,
Speaker.
Senator Cherarike. I'm the one in charge of the House for now.
I'm rising on Standing Order 105, which my good friend, Senator Cherarike, has misused in this House. Madam Speaker, it is important for me to rise on this because we are degenerating as a House. Because when you are discussing a matter, it has become a norm that the easiest way of curtailing debate is to rise on point of order number 105, Standing Order number 105. Sometime back, about a week ago, when we are discussing a similar motion of adjournment in regards to tribal clashes in Sondo, Senator Cherarike demanded that I substantiate the sentiments I had expressed, that there were some fighting near the border of Nandi and Vihiga County. And Madam Speaker, have been waiting for the chair to tell me, this is now the second week, to substantiate. I have never been asked to come and substantiate. I was told to come and substantiate. The next Tuesday, nothing happened. So what I'm trying to say, my point of order is this. I think, Madam Speaker, the chair of this House must observe any incidences of misuse of Standing Order number 105, which a lot of senators here, especially Senator Cheregei, are used to bring it up. And I decided to bring it up when he's speaking, to inform the House that I have been waiting to substantiate the claims I made, and the chair has never asked me to substantiate. Is it an order for standing order number 105 to be misused in this House as a way of curtailing democracy and debate and free speech in this House?
Senator, resume your seat. Let me give you direction on that issue. Senator Osotsi, Standing Order 105 is available to all the senators in this House to utilize it as a tool for debate and a tool for intervening when there are issues that need to be responded to and which they feel are now crossing the standing order or going out of way. So it is in order for any senator, including Senator Cherargei, to use the Standing Order 105. Abuse of that standing order should not be allowed. Nonetheless, if you have been directed to substantiate an issue and you have not had a chance to substantiate that issue, it would be in order for you to even approach the clerk's desk or approach the chair and say that you have pending business that has not been brought in good time. And in this regard, I will now direct the clerk's desk to make sure that the issue of Sondu is substantiated during the next sitting, as the next sitting resumes. And even Senator Osotsi owes a duty of responsibility to the House to offer that information for anything that may be left out erroneously or inadvertently by the chair or by the clerk's desk. We proceed on with debate. So I will ask Senator Miraj.
Asante Bi Speaker. Na mimi nasimama kama kiongozi ambaye natoka katika mkoa ulioathirika zaidi na uwizi wa mashamba. Na nasimama kwa uchungu sana, kwa sababu imekuwa ni tabia, na ni muunge mkono pia Senator Gloria, ya kwamba kuna watu mahali wamekaa na wamejipanga ni jinsi gani watakuwa wakiibia Wakenya walalahoi pesa zao kwa kuwauzia mashamba ambayo sio yao. Ni jambo la kusikitisha sana kuona kwamba tunalumbana sisi kama viongozi katika taifa la Kenya, wakati kuna wananchi, Madam Speaker, ambao wako nje hawajui watalala wapi. Mimi kama mzazi, na kutokamana na yale masuala ya El Nino ambayo yamekuwa yakizungumziwa, naona ni bora hawa ambao wametolewa katika haya majumba kuweza kupelekwa katika zile nyumba ambazo wale watuhumiwa wametajwa na DCI leo. Sisi kama taifa ni wakati tuchukue mkondo mpya kama serikali mpya katika taifa hili. Chini ya serikali ya William Samoei Ruto, Madam Speaker, tuliweza kuzungumza ya kwamba masuala ya ardhi yatakuwa masuala ya serikali zilizopita na sio serikali hii. Tukaweza kuongea ya kwamba kutakuwa na mazungumzo na watu kufidiwa. Basi mimi kama kiongozi ningependa jumba hili tuweze kutunga sheria ya kuweza kuona yule atakayepatikana ameuzia mwingine shamba ambalo silo lake aweze kupewa adhabu kali. Ningependa pia sisi kama maseneta na viongozi katika taifa hili, Madam Speaker, tuweze kukubaliana ya kwamba ni uchungu kuona ya kwamba kuna watu katika ofisi za serikali ambao waliweza kupiga mihuri ya kuwezesha wale wananchi kuweza kujenga katika maeneo kama yale. Ningependa kando na wale ambao waliwauzia, hata wale ambao wako katika ofisi za serikali hadi sasa waweze kuchukuliwa hatua kali. Wale wote ambao waliwahi kufanya kazi katika ofisi za serikali za land, za ardhi, wafikiwe, kwa sababu kuondoka katika ofisi ya serikali haimaanishi mkono wa serikali hautakufata pale ulipo. Wale waliwatendea zulma wananchi wa taifa la Kenya kwa kuweza kusahihisha na kuweka sawa uwizi wa ardhi ulioendelea pale Mavoko waweze kufatwa na mkono wa sheria uweze kuchukua njia yake. Asante, Bi Speaker.
You have, Honorable Senator, we have 18 seconds. Senator Kavindu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to say that the Committee of Lands should move to Mavoko to know what is happening as they speak to those people and see how they can sort out those problems of the issues of the land. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Honorable Senators, it is now 6:40, time to adjourn the House. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 18th October 2023 at 9:30 a.m.
Well, a very good morning to you and welcome to this live broadcast of the National Assembly proceedings on this 17th day of October, the year 2023. And this is a live broadcast that is brought to you by the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit in partnership with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. This morning, the members of the National Assembly will be holding a sitting this morning. This follows a procedural motion that was moved by the leader of the majority party on the 12th of October. And that resolved to hold a sitting on this Tuesday morning. And this is pursuant to the House Standing Order number 33B that indicates that notwithstanding, or rather the Standing Order number 33B, 3 indicates that notwithstanding paragraphs 1 and 2, this particular standing order is with regards to the hours of meeting for the House. This standing order is 30. There is 1, there is subsection 2, and there is subsection 3. So 3 of this standing order indicates that notwithstanding paragraph 1 and 2, the House may resolve. A on that part 3 indicates to extend its sitting time or B of that section indicates to meet at any other time on a sitting day, or C indicates that to meet on any other day in order to transact a business. So pursuant to the House Standing Order number 33B, in a procedural motion, the leader of the majority party, Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, urged the House to resolve that they hold a morning sitting on this Tuesday of October 17th, the year 2023, and that sitting will commence at 10 a.m. for purposes of considering priority business as may be approved by the House Business Committee. Remember, on a normal morning sitting for the National Assembly, the sitting starts at 9:30. This one is sort of a unique sitting that was scheduled to start at 10. And the House will sit at 10, of course, to consider priority business as may be approved by the House Business. Remember last week on Tuesday when the country was marking Utamaduni Day, the House did not sit, and thereby, according to the majority leader, that may have necessitated today's morning sitting to consider business and enable the House complete or conclude on the number of businesses set for this session. And as you can see, the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Gladys Boss, is in the chambers. Allow me to hand you over to this live broadcast brought to you by PBU in partnership with KBC. Good morning.
Honorable members, let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion.
You have it.
Okay, it's not working, eh?
No, it's back. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And apologies for the small technical challenges with the mics. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion. That aware that the National Dialogue Committee was established by Parliament through a resolution passed by the National Assembly and Senate on 16th August 2023 and 29th August 2023 respectively. Further, aware that the resolution outlines the mandate of the committee, which includes to facilitate dialogue, consensus building, and recommend appropriate constitutional, legal, and policy reforms on issues of concern to the people of Kenya. Acknowledging that since its establishment, the committee has made tremendous progress in exercise of its mandate and has achieved the following milestones: formulated and adopted the framework agreement, framed and adopted the statement of issues, unbundled the issues.
You're causing disturbance, Majority Whip.
Please protect me from the Majority Whip.
Majority Whip, take your seat. And desist from engaging Honorable Bowen Kangogo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the protection. Honorable Speaker, if you allow me to take that again, acknowledging that since its establishment, the committee has made tremendous progress in exercise of its mandate and has achieved the following milestones: formulated and adopted the framework agreement, framed and adopted the statement of issues, unbundled the issues and agreed on prioritization of issues, harmonized the unbundled issues, conducted public participation and stakeholder engagements in line with the requirements of Article 10 of the Constitution, and examined and analyzed the memoranda that were received from the public and stakeholder submissions. Further, cognizant that the committee is presently in the process of considering the issues for negotiations and recommending appropriate constitutional, legal, and policy reforms on each of the framed issues, which are electoral justice and related matters, outstanding constitutional matters, fidelity to political parties through coalitions, and the law on multi-party democracy, entrenching the National Government Constituency Development Fund, National Government Affirmative Action Fund, and the Senate Oversight Fund into the Constitution, and establishment and entrenchment of state offices. Conscious that the resolution as passed by both houses of parliament require the committee to report to the leadership of Kenya Kwanza and Azimio coalitions within 60 days from 29th August 2023, recognizing the need for the committee to conclude the consideration of the issues for negotiations, the process of making the appropriate constitutional, legal, and policy reforms on each of the issues as framed by the committee, and preparation of a report for submission to the leadership of Kenya Kwanza and Azimio coalitions and thereafter to Parliament. Now, therefore, the Houses of Parliament resolve to extend the mandate of the National Dialogue Committee by a further 30 days from 28th October 2023, and consequently, the committee shall be required to report to the leadership of Kenya Kwanza and Azimio coalitions on or before 26th November 2023, and thereafter submit its report to Parliament. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Order number 7, questions and statements. Order number 8, the Facilities Improvement Financing Bill, Senate Bill number 43 of 2023, second reading. Question to be put.
Is my mic working? Honorable members, I now put the question that the Facilities Improvement Financing Bill, Senate Bill number 43 of 2023, be read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of Parliament to provide for public health facility improvement financing, the management and administration of facility improvement financing, and for connected purposes. Order number 9, Committee of the Whole House.
Order members. Order members, we are now in the Committee of the Whole for the Facilities Improvement Financing Bill, Senate Bill number 43 of 2023.
Clauses 3, 4, 5, and 6.
I propose the question that clauses 3, 4, 5, and 6 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 3, 4, 5, and 6 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 7.
Order members, I propose the question that clause 7 be part of the bill. We have an amendment. Honorable Oluoch.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, we have carried out some consultations with the majority leader and my colleagues on this side who sit on the Health Committee. We have serious amendments which we want to make, but we take into account and are cognizant that this is a Senate bill coming to the National Assembly, and in light of the fact that if we do not pass it, it may have to go back to the Senate or to mediation. We have agreed that I withdraw these amendments and subsequent amendments on the undertaking of the majority side that the amendments proposed herein can be revisited in a small amendment bill after 6 months. On that account, Honorable Madam Chair, I would like to withdraw these amendments. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mwache. I will then propose the question that clause 7 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 7 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 8.
I propose the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. Mover, Honorable Mwache. Does this fall with the same fate? Same fate? Thank you. Therefore, I propose the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 9.
I propose the question that clause 9 be part of the bill. Mover, does it fall the same fate, Honorable Mwache? Thank you. I now propose the question that clause 9 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 9 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 10.
I propose the question that clause 10 be part of the bill. We have an amendment by Honorable Dr. Wilberforce Oundo.
Thank you, Chair. You know, as we are very reasonable people who consult widely and make decisions that are in public interest and the interest for the general public. We are not partisan, so to speak. So after consulting the majority leader and the chair of the Health Committee and the members of the Health Committee from our side, we have agreed that we'll drop all the amendments I had proposed on this particular bill. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Oundo. I like the consultations this morning. I now propose the question that clause 10 be part of the bill. There is a second amendment by Honorable Mwache. So I will propose the question that clause 10 be amended, be part of the bill. Honorable Mwache, are we doing the same as the rest? To be on record.
Yes, Madam Chair, it falls under the same fate. It is withdrawn.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause 10 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 10 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I know there were proposals for amendments in clause 11 to 29. Just be on record, Honorable Mwache, that all the amendments have been dropped.
Same undertaking, clauses 11, 20, 22, and 23.
Honorable Mwache, kindly use the mic next to you to be on record.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the same undertaking and upon consultation with the majority and the committee members on this other side, clauses 11, clause 20, 22, and 29 are withdrawn. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mwache.
Clauses 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28.
I therefore propose the question that clauses 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 be part of the bill, and 29 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Title.
I therefore propose the question that the title of the bill be. I propose the question that the title be the title of the bill. I now put the question that the title be the title of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover to move reporting.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Facilities Improvement Financing Bill, Senate Bill number 43 of 2023, and its approval thereof without amendments.
I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Facilities Improvement Financing Bill, Senate number 43 of 2023, and its approval thereof without amendments. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Order, members, for the convenience of the House, we will go to the next bill. We are now going to consider the Primary Health Care Bill, Senate Bill number 44 of 2023.
Clause 3 and 4.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clauses 3 and 4 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 3 and 4 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 5, 6, and 7.
I propose the question that clauses 5, 6, and 7 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 5, 6, and 7 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 8.
I propose the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. There is an amendment by Honorable Anthony Oluoch.
Look for him.
Thank you, Madam. This falls under the same general consultations we made with the majority, And upon concurrence of my colleagues on this side, I wish to drop all the amendments proposed under clause 8, 9, 12, 16, 17, and 23 on the strong undertaking that the committee and the majority side will reintroduce these and relook at these provisions after 6 months. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Which you're on record, I propose the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 9.
Clause 9 suffers the same fate. I propose the question that clause 9 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 9 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 10 and 11.
I propose the question that clauses 10 and 11 be part of the bill. And I now put the question that clauses 10 and 11 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 12.
Amendments under clause 12 have been dropped. I propose the question that clause 12 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 12 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 13.
I propose the question that clause 13 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 13 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 14.
I propose the question that clause 14 be part of the bill. We have an amendment by Honorable Oundo.
Chair, in view of our previous discussion, in respect of this, I drop all the amendments in respect of this bill. That's on clause 14 and clause 19 for record purposes.
Thank you, Honorable Oundo. I now put the question that clause 14 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 14 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 15.
I propose the question that clause 15 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 15 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 16.
This amendment, I propose the question. It's on record that the amendment proposed by Honorable Mwache under this one has been dropped. So I will propose the question that clause 16 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 16 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 17.
Again, it's on record. The amendment here has been dropped. I will propose the question that clause 17 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 17 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 18.
I propose the question that clause 18 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 18 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 19.
Proposed amendment by Honorable Wilberforce has been dropped in this one, so I will propose the question that clause 19 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 19 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 20, 21, and 22.
I propose the question that clause 20, 21, and 22 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 20, 21, and 22 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 23.
Again, it's on record, the amendment has been dropped, so I will propose the question that clause 23 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 23 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 24 and 25.
I propose the question that clauses 24 and 25 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 24 and 25 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
Okay, I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. Honorable Oluoch, this was not in your list that you dropped. Are you on record? Mike.
Honorable Chair, it falls within the same ambit of the others withdrawn.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Oluoch. I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Title.
I propose the question that title be the title of the bill. I now put the question that title be the title of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover to move reporting.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that committee do report to the House its consideration of the Primary Health Care Bill, Senate Bill number 44 of 2023, and its approval thereof without amendments.
I therefore put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Primary Health Care Bill, Senate Bill number 44 of 2023, and its approval thereof without amendments. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker,
Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Facilities Improvement Financing Bill, Senate number 43 of 2023, and approved the same without amendments.
Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee. Honorable members, I now call upon the mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request Honorable Mutunga to second the motion of agreement with the report of the committee of the whole House.
Honorable Speaker, I second.
As I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Honorable members, I now put the question that the House do agree with the committee on the said report. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as have a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Facilities Improvement Financing Bill, Senate Bill number 43 of 2003, be now read a third time. I also request the Honorable Robert Mbui to second.
Madam Speaker, I second.
Which is that the Facilities Improvement Financing Bill, Senate Bill number 43 of 2023, be now read a third time. I can allow the Honorable Dr. Nyikal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. We have passed an extremely important bill for the functioning of our health systems. What this bill is going to do, Madam Speaker, is that actually our facilities, level 4, level 3, level 2, and even level 5, are now actually being able to manage their own finances. The money will be ring-fenced. Even any contributions, even money from the counties will go there and they'll be managed. So it will make a big difference. This thing worked very well between the years 2005, 2008. But Madam Speaker, there is one point that we'll have to relook at. What we have done now and the amendments that actually were being withdrawn after consideration is that we have said that the district accountant or the county accountant will actually be a mandatory signatory. The problem that will bring is that a small facility, level 2, will actually now have to wait for that accountant to actually make the approval. Now, the best and how it worked before is that these facilities actually have the chairman from the community, the in charge of the facility, and that committee, they can actually use these funds. And then this accountant goes on regularly to just see how they are managing the funds. But since this is actually a Senate bill, if we start doing back, we'll actually be drawing things back. So the agreement, and I think when that time comes, we should remember what I'm saying now. We can look at that later and actually release these facilities from the authority of the district accountant or the county accountant, whoever it is, so that the facilities can run. My colleagues, primary schools, secondary schools actually manage the accounts without referring to the accountants. So why are we tying the health facilities? So, but now that we have actually moved one step forward, I think we support, and then when the time comes in 6 months, let us all agree that we'll review and remove that small element so that these facilities can run on their own. Experience showed when I was in the ministry that the things that are run by the community do better than the things that are run directly from a central positions. With that, Madam Speaker, I support.
Dr. Pukose, Chair, Health.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank the House for passing these very important bills that came from the Senate and of special notice to the Committee of Health for having spent a lot of time in the public participation and listening to and getting the memorandums from the various organizations. I want to thank the Office of the Majority Leader for giving the guidance on how this bill has, the two bills have been prosecuted. And Madam Speaker, I think the proposals that had been brought by Honorable Undo and Honorable Aluoj, I want to thank them for being magnanimous to drop the amendments so that we can be able to prosecute these bills in a timely manner instead of engaging us to go into mediation committee with the senators. I think this is the spirit in which we can be able to prosecute bills in this House moving forward. And the majority leaders has assured that we'll be able to, in 6 months' time, we'll be able to come up with a bill to make those amendments, and we'll be able to look at issues which Dr. Nyikal and others had raised, which I think are valid. The committee had also raised some of those things, and I think we'll be able to look at. And when we even go to the primary health care, there are issues about how the community health promoters should be able to operationalize. They should not go to the public, the county public service board, because that will mean something else. So I think this is the spirit in which all of us should be able to prosecute any bills in this House, because we are all legislators and we represent our people. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me, Honorable Speaker, to join the chair and Dr. Nyikal in congratulating especially the members of the Health Committee, where I'm certain Dr. Nyikal also sits in, and the chair, and indeed the whole House, for radically changing the architecture of our healthcare system in the country, and changing it not just radically but positively in favor of the people that we represent, Honorable Speaker. And I want to agree with Honorable Nyikal, Honorable Speaker, as he has stated, that indeed there is opportunity for improvements, but also speak to the Ministry of Health and our county governments. Honorable Speaker, in this day and age, there is no reason, absolutely no reason, as to why a small health facility cannot be integrated and to be integrated into the IFMI system, so that even where a district accountant at the sub-county level is a mandatory signatory, the officers at the health facility should not be curtailed from being able to process their payments because they have to travel to a sub-county headquarters to get payments approved. With the integration of all these health centers, and I want to believe those are some of the issues that the Ministry of Health and our county governments must work on to ensure that all health facilities from level 1 to level 5 are integrated into the IFMI system, so that even the district accountants, who will be mandatory signatories, Honorable Speaker, are able to do the approvals online without necessarily having to engage at the facility level. Two, Honorable Speaker, is to speak to our governors and our county officers, chief officers, and the CECs in charge of health, that as they designate the AIE holders, they will designate at all the facilities from level 1 to level 5, Honorable Speaker, that they do so considering the expertise and skills in the officers at those levels. It not necessarily have to be a medical superintendent who is trained in medicine. They may need to look at skills, people who are trained in finance, accounting. And I don't say that because I'm an accountant, Honorable Speaker, but because you'll be managing finances, it will be important that they do capacity building. Even for the medical superintendents who are medical officers, they may need to give them some little capacity training in terms of financial prudence and financial management, so that they are adequately skilled to cater for the funds that will be under their care. With that, Honorable Speaker, I thank all members for the passage of this Facilities Health Improvement Bill and the other bills, Honorable Speaker, that we're about to consider, plus those that were considered in the Senate last week and approved, even as I thank the Senate for having considered and approved our bills without amendments. Lastly, allow me to thank the Honorable Udo and the Honorable Anthony Oluoch for being magnanimous and dropping the amendments that they had proposed. And as I had committed, including the proposed change of name of the Social Insurance Health Fund that was proposed by Honorable Junet, we shall, in the course of next year, upon maturity of these bills and seeing how they work, have another bill that will make some of those small amendments once we see how they will have worked over those 6 months or so. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Leader, honorable members, bearing in mind that we debated this bill extensively, I'll give the last opportunity to the Honorable Junet.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to thank the House for passing this bill. Madam Speaker, as a House, we have passed 4 important health bills in this sitting that we are almost going to a recess to on Thursday. Madam Speaker, as you are aware, there is a huge debate in the country because under the Constitution of 2010, health was devolved. And people are asking themselves whether it was right to devolve health functions, Madam Speaker. Kenyans are asking themselves whether we made the right decisions when we are enacting that constitution by devolving health to the counties, Madam Speaker. Because majority of our health system, our health facilities are not working and functioning in the county level, Madam Speaker. And you know that healthcare is one of the most important things for any government, Madam Speaker, whether it's a county government or a national government, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, I hope and pray that these new bills that we have just passed, that are going to be assented to shortly, I hope and pray that, Madam Speaker, they are going to revolutionize the health sector of our country. Madam Speaker, you will not know the importance of health until you become sick. When you get ill is when you realize how important it is to be healthy, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, I want to ask the House that we have passed many bills in this House, either in healthcare, in education, in ICT, in everything. Madam Speaker, this House must come up with a mechanism on how to assess the implementation of those acts after they are assented. Whether those acts are being implemented for the benefit of the people of Kenya, Madam Speaker. We legislate in this House, and I want to thank the Majority Leader. He has done a good job for the last 6 months. The first 6 months he was settling down, he was doing a lot of politics, but the last 6 months he has done a good job, Madam Speaker. And if he continues with this trend, the future looks bright for him. Maybe he can be my running mate in the next some few elections to come. So, Madam Speaker, we have, through the implementation committee, this House has a implementation committee, Madam Speaker. The implementation committee of this House must make sure that these bills that we pass in this House are implemented for the benefit of the people of this country, Madam Speaker, so that we don't just give the executive a blank check that we have passed these bills, go and implement it the way you want it. They implement what they want, they don't implement the ones they don't want, the ones that favors them, the ones that don't favor them. Madam Speaker, I want to give this task to the implementation committee to make sure that these bills are implemented. With those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I thank the House for passing the bills.
Thank you very much, Honorable Junet. Honorable members, I have confirmed that the House is properly constituted for the purpose of making a decision. I therefore put the question, which is that the Facilities Improvement Financing Bill, Senate Bill number 43 of 2023, be now read a third time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as have a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for public health facility improvement financing, the management and administration of facility improvement financing, and for connected purposes.
We move to the next bill, which is Primary Healthcare Bill, Senate Bill number 44 of 2023.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Primary Health Care Bill, Senate Bill number 44 of 2023, and its approval thereof without amendments.
Mover.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request Honorable Keeley to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I second.
Thank you, Honorable Carrizo. Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee on the said report. May I go ahead and put the question? Honorable members, I put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. As many as of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Primary Healthcare Bill, Senate Bill number 44 of 2023, be now read a third time. I also request Honorable Irene Mayaka to second.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I second.
Honorable Irene Mayaka. Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that the Primary Healthcare Senate Bill number 44 of 2023 is now read a third time. I can give a few members to make comments. I will give the first opportunity to the Honorable Justice Kemei, member for Sigowet Soloin. I think the Honorable Justice Kemei, you are not aware? The Honorable James Nyikal.
Chair, Madam Speaker, once again, let me just try to emphasize the importance of this bill, which we are passing into a law today. Madam Speaker, this is what is going to link the community with the health system. Madam Speaker, as leaders in our own rights, the community health promoters or health workers are actually the basic link. And I would appeal to all of us to actually support them and ensure that they are actual community members. These are people that should not be actually be transferred. They should belong to the community. And once again, Madam Speaker, I'll propose that when the time comes, we need to link this bill, because these primary healthcare promoters will work very effectively if they are also linked with the financing of level 2 and level 3, because these are the people they are going to work through, so that when we make those committees for level 2 and level 3, it is important that we actually incorporate the primary healthcare, the community health promoters or community health workers. If we do that, we will see a very big change. This is what actually led Ethiopia to lead. That is what made the current director of World Health Organization from Ethiopia get the job. So if we follow this route, we are going a long way, and Madam Speaker, I support.
I would like to give the Honorable Justice Kemei.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to add my voice to the decision of this Parliament. Madam Speaker, first of all, let me agree with Dr. Pokose that in passing the bill and the previous bill, Madam Speaker, today, we've been so magnanimous as the National Assembly. Madam Speaker, without much ado, let me say the bill will lead to fundamental changes in the health sector in our country. I want to add, Madam Speaker, that we must reduce the bureaucracy when it comes to treatment of our people. We must reduce the time it takes for our people to be treated. We must use technology, Madam Speaker, to make sure that the services, the health services that we give our people are given in a fast and expedited manner. Madam Speaker, I do support. Thank you.
Dr. Pukose.
Madam Speaker, I once again want to thank the House for passing this bill. and more so my Committee of Health for the time they put to make sure that this Senate bill is processed and passed without amendments. Madam Speaker, just for the record for the members, the community health care promoters who are within every constituency, and they vary in numbers. Like yesterday we were in Kericho. Kericho has 1,600 community health workers. Bomet has 1,900 community health workers. These are people at the grassroots that they'll be able to, you must as a member of parliament in your constituency, interact with them to understand how healthcare is being taken care of within your area. And these are key people in terms of early diagnosis of disease, prevention of disease, and also how they can be able to refer one patient from one level of care to another. Of interest, Madam Speaker, is the digital health bill, which was passed by this House, that it is now able to operationalize. You can be able to follow up a patient right from level 1 to any level that patient is being referred to, and you'll be able to know whether this patient has been treated and what is the follow-up. You can also be able to track down the supplies from KEMSA, all the way from KEMSA to the dispensary in your constituency, Madam Speaker. So I think with the passage of this bill, yesterday we also honored one of our great ladies of this land, Professor Miriam Were, who has been engaged in primary health care for close to 70 years. And now she's around 83 years, a professor of primary health care, professor of medicine. So I think, Madam Speaker, these are things that we should be able to interact. And I know with this, if we are able to put this in place, then this country healthcare system will be transformed. Just to quote the words of the Deputy President yesterday, he says that the results of this will be out in the next 6 months or so, and we'll be able to see how our healthcare system within our country has transformed from what it is to a better place. With those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I support.
Dr. Pukose, the Honorable Gikaria.
Thank you.
Yeah. The last one will be the Honorable Bayer. Then I hope from there we can put the question. Proceed, Honorable Gikaria.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First of all, let me agree with the passage of these very important critical bills. Honorable Speaker, what Junet originally had indicated about the governance and the devolved function of health, and I think it is very, very important for us to talk to the governors and their executive, particularly the CECs of health. Honorable Speaker, as Dr. Nikala had said, ring fencing some of these monies to be left within the either at level 5, level 3 or level 2 is very critical. Honorable Speaker, I happen to have been a vice chair of the implementation committee in the 10th Parliament, and we once visited Taita Taveta. And Honorable Speaker, when that, because initially that is what whatever was being received at that healthcare was being spent at that health facility. But when it was removed by the then governor, Honorable Speaker, the whole that healthcare facility collapsed. So I totally agree that this is a very critical issue, and particularly to the counties, since this is a devolved function. It is important for the governors to look critically at these bills when it becomes, of course, to an act, for them to be able to, and particularly, Honorable Speaker, about the emergency cases. Sometimes you find an accident, and sometimes they are not treated. So again, this is going to address that, and I totally agree. I want to thank you, Honorable Speaker, and concur with all the other members. Thank you.
Thank you. Now the last one will be the Honorable Owen Bayer.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want from the outset to say that these health bills that the 13th Parliament has passed are going to revolutionize healthcare in this country. One, the facilities bill will ensure that the money that is collected in these facilities is used to develop those facilities. And I want to categorically say that those very rural healthcare facilities, those that are in the interior, can for the first time have money to spend and to buy supplies and to pay for services such as cleaning up the hospital and all that. Honorable Speaker, that is a good move and it is going to help this country. Honorable Speaker, the primary healthcare bills, the community health workers suffer a lot. I have watched the CVSs in my
Please consult in low tones so that we can hear the Honorable Buyer. You may proceed and conclude.
Okay. So the CVSs that are there in the rural areas suffer a lot because there's no support from any corner. But today, I am sure the CVSs in my constituencies, in Tezo, in Matsangoni, in all the areas, are going to get help because of the bills that we have passed. But ultimately, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Majority Leader and the magnanimous Oluoch and Oundo for having dropped their amendments so that we can pass this bill within the shortest time, so that as we celebrate Mashujaa Day, we are going to celebrate community health care. We're going to celebrate this new dawn in the health sector in this country. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Owen Buyer. Honorable members have confirmed that we have requisite quorum in the House for the purpose of decision making, and I therefore put the question, which is that the primary health care bill, Senate Bill number 44 of 2023, be now read a third time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. As many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide a framework for the delivery of, access to, and management of primary health care and for connected purposes. Order number 10, motion, petition on probable loss of investment in Cyton High Yield Solution Platform.
Honorable members, this motion had been moved by the Honorable Nimrod Mbai and had been seconded, and now it is continuation of debate. It has a balance of 2 hours and 18 minutes. Member for Sotik. Your part on this motion. What is out of order, Honorable Mbai? You are the mover of this motion. Please, can you give the Honorable Mbai the microphone?
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. I only had one reason for my idea to speak to the bill. When we moved the motion, the petitioner, Honorable Atandi, had an issue when we moved the motion. The
order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. The consultations are too high. It is difficult for me to hear what the Honorable Mbai is saying.
Well,
bearing in mind that this is his motion, I would like to ask that you consult in
Borogo Chief Justice Kajini. Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. I was saying that when I moved the motion, the petitioner of the motion, which has a lot of attachment to the country and to the members, had a request for an amendment to the motion before discussion. So without urgency, I would request that we allow Honorable Atandi to move his amendment, which as a committee we support. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very much, Honorable Mbai. Honorable members, I now give an opportunity to the Honorable Atandi to move the amendment.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Before I move the amendment, Madam Speaker, I want to say that the amendment is basically to reorganize the report to make it more effective for the agencies that we are asking to take to investigate this matter. So, point of order. I'm allowing the new speaker to settle. Huh? No one is listening. I don't care one. Wote wamalize. Thank you. Madam Speaker, I was giving you time to settle before I move my amendment. I wanted to say, Madam Speaker, that the microphones are not good. I can't be heard.
Order, members. Honorable Catherine Omayo, I know that seat is very attractive, but kindly let the members take their seats.
Yeah.
You are blocking the speaker from the person on the seat. It's actually disorderly. Is the microphone better, Honorable Atandi?
Yeah, I think this is fair. Madam
Wait,
Speaker,
Honorable Atandi. Majority Leader, what is out of order?
Honorable Speaker, everything is out of order. Everybody is standing.
Order, members.
The consultations are too loud. Honorable Speaker, I just want to beg of you to please request the members who do not want to listen to Honorable Atandi to either use the rooms behind your seat,
Member for Garissa
or
Town,
the members' lounge,
take your seat,
or the tea place.
Order, Majority Leader, we hear you.
And
Order, members,
most
we
of
hear
them
you.
are conversing in vernacular.
We hear you, Honorable Majority Leader. Member for Kitutu Churches, take your seat. Honorable Mwangi Kionjori, take your seat. Order in the House. Honorable members, we cannot hear each other. Make the consultations manageable. Honorable Atandi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is the proposed amendment to the report of Public Petitions Committee, petition number 7 of 2022, by myself regarding probable loss of investments in Saiton.
We are a house of procedure. We have assented to you to move the motion, but kindly move the notice of the motion first. Then you will move the motion.
Okay.
At the debate level, you will move the issues you are talking about now.
Okay, thank you.
So do it procedurally.
Notice is given that the member for Alego Usonga intends to move the following amendment to the report of the public petitions.
Do not say your name. We know your name. Please, please read. I beg to give notice of the motion in that order, the way it's written.
Thank you. I beg to give notice. I beg to give notice to move the following amendment to the report of Public Petitions Committee regarding probable loss of investments in Saiton Hills Solutions platform. That the motion be amended by inserting the following words. Subject to insertion of the following new recommendation number 4 after the expression 2023. The Directorate, number 1, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations undertakes thorough investigations on the matters listed here under within 90 days from the date of the adoption of the report. A, affairs of Saiton, particularly on matters raised in this petition, and prefer criminal prosecution against any person found culpable. B, the relationship between officials of Saiton and the Capital Markets Authority between the period 2015 and 2021. C, the business dealings of the 49 special purpose vehicles
including the assets and liabilities, if any, and D, the business dealings of Mr. Edwin Harold Dande, including his assets and liabilities. Number B, numbering paragraph 4, appearing on page 32 of the report as paragraph 5.
Wait, Honorable Atandi, what is out of order, Honorable Junet?
Can't you move first the motion? Madam Speaker, I seek your guidance.
Yeah.
That we have a motion that is on the order paper. And Honorable Atandi is moving an amendment. Why can't we first move the motion, then the amendment can follow?
Honorable Junet, you are totally out of order. This motion had been moved, but we have accepted, the Speaker has assented for an amendment of the motion, which is allowed. And that is what Honorable Atandi is moving. Move the amendment.
I have already moved the amendment. I move. Madam Speaker, can I be allowed to continue by making my presentation? Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Madam Speaker, as the person who presented this petition before this House, I would like to say that the committee has done a very good report in this petition. Madam Speaker, this petition was presented by 2 people, but when we went for public participation, more than 400 Kenyans appeared before the committee, and they were all enjoined in this petition because they were victims of this company. Madam Speaker, this is a company that continues to transact and to trade and to market its affairs. Madam Speaker, can you give me a better microphone? Madam Speaker, give me a better microphone.
Clerk, Honorable Clerk, we are straining with the microphones. Members cannot hear. We need that fixed. The IT department fixed the microphones. They are not audible. And then, because members, we are straining, kindly keep your consultations down.
Yeah. Madam Speaker, this is a very serious petition. I think the first on the floor of this House since the start of this session. And Madam Speaker, I want to say that the reports of this House must mean business to Kenyans. We cannot be a House that basically makes reports and the reports are not acted upon. Madam Speaker, this company called Saiton is a company that is notorious for conning Kenyans. Madam Speaker, when I brought this petition before this House, for the benefit of the members, I want to say that I was charged in court. I was taken to court by this company because of the statements I made during public participation that in my assessment, the activities of this company are akin to what pyramid schemes do. Madam Speaker, I was taken to court and I thank the judiciary because the magistrate who was listening to the case threw it out. Madam Speaker, this company has operated for a long time in this country. And what they do, Madam Speaker, is that they invite you to invest some money with them, promising you high returns. Madam Speaker, once you put your money in this company, then the money is transferred to several other companies. They call them special purpose vehicles. So by the time you go back to the company to Saiton for your money, you are told your money was transferred to a different company in which now Saiton themselves are not directors. Now you begin to look for your money, you cannot get your money, plus the returns promised. Madam Speaker, it is important to know that this company, the activities of this company has led to death of Kenyans. We listened to Kenyans who said that they put their retirement savings in this company, and when they went back to get the returns, they did not get. There are many Kenyans who committed suicide. There are many families that were broken because a wife took the money and invested and they did not consult their husbands. And when the money was needed, there was no money. Madam Speaker, there was a case I listened to where a retiree who had placed their money here was very, very sick and they needed money for treatment. And at that time, their deposit was supposed to have matured. But Saiton told them that they did not have any money. Madam Speaker, this report is very serious and I would want to beseech members to pay attention to this report. Because the amendment I brought on the floor of the House is supposed to help the DPP and DCI to ensure that these guys are apprehended. So, Madam Speaker, I want to urge members that let us, for once, be a House that can come up with a report that can bite. Because many Kenyans are looking at us and wondering, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with this, with Kenyans who have been robbed day and broad light? Madam Speaker, even as we talk, if you look at the newspapers, this particular company is still inviting Kenyans to invest money in them. If you go to social media, they are sending information. They are operating like there's nothing wrong happening. Madam Speaker, I want to beseech this House that the report that we have was presented by the committee is a very comprehensive report. If this House adopts this report in totality, and we urge the implementation committee to ensure that this report is implemented, and the recommendations that have been put here, including pursuing the culprits, is indeed done, and we want to see people charged in court for hurting Kenyans, for robbing Kenyans. I think this is the work that we must do, Madam Speaker. Otherwise, thank you. I support.
Support. Honorable Atandi, you move in amended form. Get a seconder.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Majority Leader.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support that particular amendment by the Honorable Samuel Atandi. Because, Honorable Speaker, if you read the report, members will note there was a bit of inconsistency in the manner and the format the report was tabled in the House. Because in the observations, Honorable Speaker, the committee did find that indeed many Kenyans were defrauded by Saiton Investments and the associated companies. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, in some of the observations, they note even the culpability or the possible culpability of the CEO of Saiton Investments, one Edwin Dande. Honorable Speaker, maybe just for the record, it's good to note that Edwin Dande was my classmate at the school, in high school. And he's a very intelligent young man, well-schooled. But, Honorable Speaker, our personal relations to people should not override our public duty and responsibility to hold people to account when they defraud the people of Kenya. And that's the reason I rise to support the Honorable Atandi, that indeed the CEO and the management of Saiton must be held to account for the huge losses that they have occasioned to investors who, as the report says, were enticed in what seemingly was almost a pyramid scheme, promising Kenyans very high returns that under ordinary circumstances, Honorable Speaker, in the money markets you will not be able to do. But they did this, Honorable Speaker, to be able to collect money from gullible Kenyan investors who, as usual, Honorable Speaker, when you are invited to put your money and get a very high return, Kenyans get enticed to put their money with the hope that they will be able to recoup both their investment and the return they were promised. Honorable Speaker, you've heard the Honorable Atandi say that he was taken to court on account of what he said, not outside Parliament, but inside the precincts of Parliament, within the precincts of Parliament, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we must, as a House, protect members of Parliament, because our own laws, the Powers and Privileges Act, protects members from what they do in pursuit of their work as members of Parliament. The Honorable Atandi did not present this petition because Edwin Danda comes from his county or his village, or because the petitioners are his friends. The petition, Honorable Speaker, as you can see, are Kenyans who petitioned Parliament. And they are petitioning Parliament because they had reached a dead end. They go to DCI, they report, nothing is ever done, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, today there is a hue and cry. Honorable Speaker, if you protect me from the gracious ladies from Kiambu County conversing in vernacular, led by the member for Kiambu County.
I know.
Please tell Honorable Amuratha, we are not in
keep it down.
We are not in Kangoya Market in Kiambu.
Keep it down. Honorable member, continue with your seconding of the motion.
Please advise that we are not in Kangoya Market. We are in Parliament, where people converse in English or Swahili, not in vernacular and distracting debate. Honorable Speaker, I was saying, Kenyans have been defrauded. Today there is a hue and cry in Mavoko County, in Mavoko constituency in Machakos County, because Kenyans who invested their hard-earned earnings in buying land, building houses, have had to see their investments, some their lifetime savings, come down as bulldozers on account of the loss of the case against Portland Cement Company, are demolished. Honorable Speaker, those people did not just fall like manna from heaven on that land. They were conned by people who made them to invest their hard-earned resources in land that did not belong to the purported sellers of that land. And Honorable Speaker, you will see many of them, including political leaders, Honorable Speaker, use what are called squatters in quotes to invade private land, subdivide it, then sell it to gullible Kenyans. Then when their houses are demolished, the same political leaders turn around and accuse the people who are demolishing that they are demolishing people's houses, yet some of them are part and parcel of the rot, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Samuel Atandi, I was saying, Honorable Speaker, had every right as a member of Parliament to present a petition before Parliament on behalf of Kenyans who have been conned. Honorable Speaker, he's not just Saiton. In the county of Kiambu, where the Honorable Wanjiku Muratha comes from, and Honorable Alice Nganga, they will tell you about Ekeza Sacco, another pyramid scheme that has defrauded millions of Kenyans. Then what these people do is seek political favors and political power. You see those who defrauded people through Ekeza, as much as before the elections were insulting William Ruto, then Deputy President, today they are all over recording songs of praise to the current president, imagining that they will get protection from the theft they have occasioned from the people of Kenya. We must, Honorable Speaker, as political leaders, decide that if we are fighting corruption, it must be by action. Honorable Speaker, the amendments we just did last week on the Anti-Bribery Act, Honorable Speaker, speaks to some of these issues that the Honorable Atandi is amending to. That corruption is not just in the public sector. Corruption pervades even within the private sector. People are registering companies with big names, well-educated people, some hiding behind big names like bishops, like that one of Ekeza Sacco calls himself a bishop. But you're calling yourself a bishop and defrauding Kenyans. My good friend and former classmate Edwin Dande of Saiton is a very well-educated Kenyan who went to the Alliance High School, proceeded on to a good university in the United States, came back to work in Kenya. But you cannot come back to Kenya and use your education to defraud gullible Kenyans. And this House must stand with Kenyans who are being conned. And the DCI, EACC must do their work to hold people to account, people who defraud Kenyans. Not just Edwin Dande, not the bishops of Ekeza Sacco, but even those who conned gullible Kenyans in Machakos County in Mavoko. They must be held to account, Honorable Speaker. Kenyans cannot continue to lose their hard-earned savings on account of greedy individuals who want to lead people to invest in pyramid schemes and land buying companies that have no title to the land they are selling to them, Honorable Speaker. And it's only by supporting the amendment by the Honorable Atandi that we can occasion through the implementation committee and making sure that all the recommendations of this particular report, Honorable Speaker, and others are actioned on by EACC and DCI, so that the day they can have their day in court. And Honorable Speaker, the courts must also act to ensure that the money they have stolen to people, because what they do, Honorable Speaker, at times is start one good investment, complete one housing project, so that you make it believable that this thing works. But then after the second, third scheme, the pyramid scheme naturally will collapse and you cannot pay back. But DCI, EACC, all other agencies must pursue these directors and individuals who defrauded Kenyans using Cyclone and the associated companies to make sure that they recover the money from their individual assets, sell them off and pay the investors their money, plus the returns that they promise these people. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to support and urge members to support this report. And it does not matter how you know these people. It does not matter, Honorable Junet, how you know these people. It does not matter whether Edwin Danda comes from Migori County. I know he comes from Rongo constituency. Please let us not support people on the basis of where they come from, how we know them. I say this is my good friend. He is my former classmate. I speak to him once in a while. But when it comes to accountability, we must have a culture where both in private and public sectors, we hold people to account in this country, Honorable Speaker. And I beg to support the amendments by, second the amendment by the Honorable Atandi and support the report as amended.
Have you seconded? Okay. All right. Honorable members, I now propose the question that the motion be amended by inserting the following words. Part A, subject to insertion of the following new recommendation, number Roman 4, after the expression 2023. Roman 4, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations undertakes thorough investigations on the matter listed here under within 90 days from the date of the adoption of the report. Part A, affairs of Saiton, particularly on the matters raised in this petition, and prefer criminal prosecution against any person found culpable. 2, the relationship between officials of the Saiton and the Capital Markets Authority between period of 2015 and 2021. Number C, the business dealings of the 49 CPVs, including their assets and liabilities, if any. And finally, the business dealings of Mr. Edwin Harold Diane Dande, including his assets and liabilities. And Part B, renumbering paragraph 4, appearing on page 32 of the report as paragraph 5. Honorable members, there is a lot of interest on this motion. I will give the first opportunity to the chair of the Petitions Committee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First, allow me to congratulate my friend, the Honorable Atanti, for being alert on the contents of the report and going ahead to move a motion, to move an amendment, which to me makes the report more powerful.
Honorable Chepkonga, what is out of order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 83. Is it in order for the chair to be given an opportunity to support a motion in which he had an opportunity in his own committee to make that recommendation? You should allow other members to speak to, because he himself failed, Madam Speaker. So he should not even be given a cherry to speak to this issue. In fact, you should rule him out of order.
Honorable Chepkonga, this is a totally almost new motion. I'll give the chair the opportunity because it has been amended, not as moved.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it's good for you to get to the knowledge of the Honorable Chepkonga that when a report is tabled before this House, it becomes the property of the House, but not the committee. So I'm just a member like any other when it comes to the report, because it has already been checked in to the House. Mr. Speaker, I was saying that I want to appreciate my friend, the Honorable Atandi, for being alert to the contents, and especially the structure of the motion, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if you look into the report, what has happened in the amendment is that the responses to the prayers by the petitioner have been moved to the committee recommendations part, which as a committee we totally agree with, because it's a matter of restructuring the structure of the content. Madam Speaker, allow me secondly to call this to the whole House. Honorable Atandi brought a petition on behalf of three Kenyans. But when we went down deeper to the whole thing, Madam Speaker, we found out that over 4,000 Kenyans have been defrauded through this scheme. And I would inform the House that I totally believe, I'm 100% certain, that each and every constituency has someone who has been defrauded. So it's a matter of concern to all the members, to the membership of the House. One of the reasons, Madam Speaker, we always have an option to table the report and get it forwarded to the Committee on Implementation. But on this one, we decided, Madam Speaker, to move a motion so that we can allow a broader discussion from the committee, a broader discussion by the House, because it's an issue of concern to Kenyans. It has been on papers, it's on social media. It is not something that would have been pushed a report from one committee to the other committee. I thought it was important we thought it was important as a committee to have the whole House discuss it and also adopt it, so that it can be stronger than the way it came from the committee. Secondly, Madam Speaker, what I'm looking at, Madam Speaker, crime in our country has evolved. Cyber crime, another kind of crime, and on this case, crime, economic crimes. People knew of the pyramid schemes, and people are running away from pyramid schemes. But pyramid schemes have been taken over by the elite, by learned colleagues, people who are in Alliance High School with the majority leader, and people who went to serious economic schools in the US, and they have changed the format of pyramid schemes to look like serious investment schemes, and this is what is happening. So, Madam Speaker, I would urge the members to seriously look into the matter, debate it, and we adopt it as amended by the Honorable Atandi. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Junet.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand to oppose this motion as amended. If the motion remained as it was before, I will have supported. But when Honorable Atandi amended it, I am guided to oppose it. Madam Speaker, let us separate the two issues. Let us separate Mr. Dande from Saiton. Saiton is a company that is registered by authorities in this republic. And Edwin Dande is an individual, Madam Speaker. If we have a problem with Edwin Dande, let us face him as Edwin Dande. And if we have Saiton, let us face Saiton as Saiton, Madam Speaker. Saiton has many directors, it has many employees, but it looks like as people we are obsessed with one person called Edwin Dande. Madam Speaker, look at the recommendations that has been made by the committee in the report, Madam Speaker. The committee is very clear. Until when you see a member, a petitioner, bringing an amendment on the floor of the House on a report that has been made by a committee, it means that it has not met the expectations of the petitioner, Madam Speaker. But it is the committee that has engaged the public. It is the committee that has engaged the people who are affected. It is the committee who has engaged the petitioners, Madam Speaker. But when you bring here amendment, it means You want to introduce things that have not been raised by the petitioners, things that have not been raised by the public that were engaged, things that has not been raised by the affected people, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, look at this report. It says, Roman 1, recommendations. The official receiver speeds up the process of liquidation and report to the National Assembly within a reasonable time. What does that mean, Madam Speaker? It means already there is this guy, what's his name? A receiver manager that has been appointed to handle this matter. What I think, what is on the ground is that this company, Saiton, might be having a lot of assets that needs to be liquidated, that might be used to pay the people whose money has been lost, Madam Speaker. Why don't we give time to the receiver manager to report? Number two, the report says that the Capital Markets Authority fast-track the alternative funds regulation. That means the CMA has failed its duties. How did the Capital Markets Authority allow people's money to be collected haphazardly, and then they want Parliament to go and look for that money on their behalf? Madam Speaker, this country, we have a constitution. We have laws in place, Madam Speaker. The institutions that are mandated to implement the constitution and the laws must work. If it is the DCI, if it is the CMA, if it is the central bank, Madam Speaker, it is not the responsibility of Parliament to go and look for people's money in the streets, Madam Speaker. The responsibility of Parliament is to legislate and do regulations for those institutions. Give them teeth to bite, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when institutions fail, and you want Parliament to come in and look to do their work, Madam Speaker, then we should abolish those institutions, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I know many Kenyans have lost their monies in different schemes, and I sympathize with them and empathize with them. But the people I am angry with today are the people or the institutions that are mandated to do that work of investigating, of looking for those monies, of regulating, supervising those institutions that collect money. These institutions, these companies that collect people's money, Madam Speaker, don't operate in other countries. They operate within the borders of this country, Madam Speaker. And these institutions have all the powers to conduct, to do supervision, to make sure that monies collected from the public are useful. So, Madam Speaker, as far as I know, Mr. Edwin Dande is a very brilliant man, as has been alluded to by the majority leader. He went to the prestigious Alliance High School, Madam Speaker. He's one of the best accountants and economists this country can ever have, Madam Speaker. But recently, when he started on social media criticizing some people, I don't want to mention names, now they want to take action against him. If there is money lost, let us liquidate the assets of Saiton and pay those people who lost money. If Bishop of Ethika, Ekesa, took people's money, he's here. Why are you not arresting him? Must Parliament shout at the rooftops so that he can be arrested? Madam Speaker, this mob justice must stop. We must be a country that is governed by the rule of law and a country that is governed by the Constitution. And the institutions that are mandated by the laws to do their work must do their work. Madam Speaker, with those...
Your time is up. I'll give the member for Sotik. Member for Sotik.
Madam Speaker, I rise to support this amendment because, Chair, I think, as the majority leader has mentioned, this country must come back to normalcy. We must be able to punish those people who have siphoned money from the poor. And, Chair, I want to support what our majority leader has said. I was shocked to look at to watch in the TV the issues of Machakos. The people who are suffering are the poorest of the poor. And these people are innocent. We are punishing the wrong people. And therefore, Madam Speaker, I want to say that we must support the people who brought this government to power. Because The bottom-up approach which this government has taken is those people who are down there. So, Madam Speaker, I want to support the amendment by Mheshimiwa Atandi so that we can move forward. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The next chance will go to Honorable Susan Kiama.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wish also to put my voice to this particular motion.
What is out of order, Majority Leader?
Honorable Speaker, I rise on standing under 87(4). For the benefit of the House, Honorable Speaker, that says no member shall impute improper motive to any other member or to a senator except upon a specific substantive motion of which at least 3 days notice has been given, calling in question the conduct of that member or senator. Honorable Speaker, as much as the Honorable Leader of Minority Whip, Junet Mohammed, has completed his contribution, but there is something, Honorable Speaker, that should not escape the attention of the House. That he imputed improper motive not on just a member, but the entire House. If you listen to him, Honorable Speaker, he said that this mob justice must cease. Honorable Speaker, the mob justice that he was alluding to is the amendment by the Honorable Atandi that is being debated by this House, Honorable Speaker, and the report of the House. And Honorable Speaker, a report of the House cannot be, and recommendations of the House cannot be mob justice. And indeed, the amendment is recommending what Honorable Junet was saying for investigative agencies to act. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I find it to be completely out of order for the Honorable Junet Mohammed to be imputing improper motive on the House and the House's recommendations.
Honorable Majority Leader, Standing Order 87(4) is very clear. It's on a member, and I have not heard it. And I think at this time, Honorable Susan Kiama is on her feet. Continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to also contribute to this very important motion. I must admit I'm also a member to this particular committee. And the case we are talking about, Madam Speaker, in the case of Saiton, is really robbery without violence. Because we have cases where Kenyans have lost millions of their savings in retirement by very few intelligent people who form very legal companies like what Saiton has done, but all with the main purpose of robbing Kenyans. Madam Speaker, it is very shocking that even when we thought that the Capital Market Authority would be able to regulate, ensure that this kind of thefts will not actually happen, we were actually very shocked in this particular committee to find that companies who want to just steal from Kenyans, they make a choice not to register with the authority, and nobody has any say to follow them. So in the name of, Madam Speaker, of trying to control what happens in the economic scene, we realized in the case of Saiton, they only register one company legally, and they have another 5 or so unregistered forms of, I don't know whether to call companies or shades of companies that are actually used to steal from the Kenyans. Madam Speaker, I think this House, even when we talk about the implementation and all that, we must realize that there are people who have died because of the money they have actually lost in this particular Saiton case. The loss they actually